Good morning. It's Saturday, I believe the 29th of June. Just came down from God's Almighty Mountain outside of Vesuvius. Came to see my friend Johnny. And every time we get together, God moves. Anyway, this may blow a lot of you Christians away to know what time it is. But we know that there's going to be a earthquake on the west coast as a sign of a dead raising revival. David Terrell, God's prophet to the world, he saw this many years ago. And just recently I was talking to another brother, and he let me know about a sign that that the man of God had concerning when this earthquake, this revival earthquake on the west coast is going to happen. And it has to do with the seventh blood moon, that's going to take place on the 16th. Now, if you look at it, it's a seventh blood moon. Each blood moon has to do with a trumpet. So you could say it's the seventh trumpet. The seventh trumpet is blowing. It's sounding the alarm. God has been sounding the alarm these last 6 times by bringing forth these blood moons. And what so we know that when we enter into the seventh blood moon, Max, get out of there. No spilling your food. No. My dog likes to dump his food dish. You lay down. Anyway, that we're going to see, we're going to cross over. It's a crossing over into the what God's going to do. That the church dispensation is coming to an end. The revivals of the past, they're old, they're gone. God's going to do a new thing. He's turning a page. We're coming over. God's about to unveil the dispensation of the kingdom, or the dispensation of the manifestation of the sons of God. So that's where we're at. We're at that point when this seventh moon takes place. We're crossing a timeline on God's calendar, and he's about to bring forth that the sons of God, they're about to stand to their feet. And so we've been in a season prior to this of where the sons of God they're being prepared to come forth. So this is a time that the lights, God's bringing forth his lights. He's bringing forth a new spiritual genesis where he's saying, let there be light. So these lights are coming forth. The revelation of Jesus is coming forth, and they're going to go forth and begin to walk in the sevenfold powers of the kingdom. Jesus cannot come back physically where right at the last trump until the kingdom goes forth in power, and the gospel of the kingdom goes forth in power to the ends of the earth. And so we know that Jesus cannot come back physically right now. It's impossible, because he first has to reveal himself in a people. There has to be a parousia of his coming, where he's going to begin to stand up in these lights that he's been preparing, and then the end can come. But we're coming into a time that the church dispensation is coming to an end. It's old. It's the old order. Same as when Jesus walked into Jerusalem as the Lamb of God, at the same time that the dispensation of the law and the prophets was coming to an end. But his own people do not recognize him. And so when the sons of God, when they come forth, each one has a destiny to bring forth. I know the destiny that Jesus has called me is to build these places of refuge, these yurt camp communities, and it's going to take the unveiling of Christ in you, the hope of glory, to bring it to pass. It cannot be done and by the strength of the flesh. It has to be by the Spirit of the Lord. So folks, we're crossing over. God's about to blow the seventh trumpet, so to speak. And we're, and this is, when we see this seventh blood moon, we're crossing over. We're going to come into this great shaking revival. And this is the shaking that God said that would come, that he would shake everything that can be shaken. So when the sons of God, when they stand on their feet, when they begin to walk in their destiny, it's going to bring forth a spiritual shaking of the earth. The foundations of the church, it's going to be shaking, and they're going to see, in the same way when Jesus came on the scene, people saw the glory of God begin to manifest in flesh. Jesus is God manifest in the flesh, and that's what he's bringing forth. We are Jesus. He's in us. This is the time of the abiding. As we are in him, he is in us, and the Father is in us, and the kingdom is going to begin to go forth. So as we cross over on the seventh blood moon, you can expect a mighty earthquake on the west coast as a sign of a dead racing revival. This is Donald Taylor, Joshua, coming to you from here in Hope, British Columbia.